Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the world. We'd like to present to you lesson 11 of consulting with equity and what I've learned from it. And if you haven't seen the first 10 lessons, I recommend that you watch those first. That way, you'll have a foundational understanding of the topic in general and how it relates to uh, what I've learned, because it's one concept on top of the other. And let's get into it now. Excuse me. Now, we're going to talk about today is called overcoming common objections and obstacles. Okay. In terms of closing a deal with sales, you're going to have to do that. Now, this is more about addressing issues than it is convincing them of value. As they already see the value, that is why they're talking to you and not someone else. Here are the issues that consultants face with consulting for equity or CFE. First one is client wants to tie compensation to objectives. Problem two is shooting too small at the start, or too low, too small. A third problem is offering too many undefined services. Everything must be defined, so we'll talk about that later. Problem number four, my customers aren't wanting to invest my fees. Number five, my customers want to delay payment or for me to offer a guarantee. Problem number six is my clients keep asking me to do vendor or employee tasks, which is not the point of consulting. And problem number seven, you're in the wrong deal with the wrong partner. So we'll address these one at a time here. Now, our first one is the client wants to tie compensation to objectives. So what you should understand is always have some payment up front. So one suggestion is you could now remember, I know this sounds significant, but because you're going to be 10xing, that the goal is 10xing or multiplying their base revenue by 10. So that's quite a bit. So that's a lot of times going to end up being in the millions of dollars because we're talking 10 times. So if you charge, for example, $25,000, but you're going to be making them millions of dollars, of course that's worth it all day long. In other words, there's a reason why they're only making, for example, a smaller amount of money, but now you can make them millions of dollars because the solution you're going to provide will allow them for greater sales, greater efficiency, and also reduced and wasted costs that are avoided. So what you could do is a half-day consult, which would cost 25,000 US as an example, or you could do a kickoff session that's like, for example, 4 hours or 2 hours. Excuse me, that's a half day. What did I say here? Half day is 4. Okay, so half day is 4 hours. Kickoff is 2 hours. Okay, so it's 5,000 for kickoff session because that's 2 hours. We basically have two options. You have 2 hours, 4 hours, or 8 hours. Normally you go with half, but in this case also you could do 2 hours. Now remember that when you're selling them on your services, you need to explain how you work and what you do from the beginning. All of that needs to be very clear from the beginning. Okay. The second problem to address is shooting too small at the start. We always want to aim high, not aim low. What you want to do is start by spotlighting the pain of their current plan. This is where they're having difficulties, where what the frustrations are, etc. Now what you want to do is come up with a chart that has two parts, okay? Or otherwise I would put it as simple two-column chart. So the first column is on the left where it says old way, and on the right column it says how it impacts me. So one is facts, second one is the results or the feelings of the facts. This is how it impacts me. Now, after you have that, what you want to do is, once you have those two columns, what you want to do is you want to dig deeper. You want to ask emotional words to get out. This is for the second end. So you got the first part where you get all the facts. Then you want to see how it impacts them. So You want to ask words that are emotional in terms of their impact on them personally. How does that make you feel? How much anxiety does that cause? If you have too much of those things, you cannot operate a business. Okay, not everything in business is numbers, but it's also the morale of the business as well. If you can continue on with the work. And how are they trying to escape this problem? Okay. Now remember that by helping someone how to uh, how, how to excuse me by helping someone to see how their old way is impacting their business and therefore their emotional health, you can help them draw a straight line from your services to value, meaning a B line from A to B, going straight from A to B. You show them the transformational insight and show them exactly how valuable that is and how they'll be able to pay whatever it takes to get that. So this is a showing of value and how it will benefit. Okay. As for problem number 3, which is offering too many undefined services, this is a mistake. That is, if you're having a hard time focusing on your service scope on your offerings, start by thinking about the questions you get asked most. Why? Because it's the most common situations. Such as, there's 3 things you can consider. Number 1, scalability and growth. That is how far out we can make this. And that has to do with growth in the business. So what you want to do is you want help businesses to scale and grow and to give them, that is to give them the tools and frameworks that they need to do it. So tools would be what you're going to use. It's the what. Frameworks is the overall strategy and way. Okay. The second thing is zero or lower dollar acquisitions. What we want to do is help people to do acquisitions with $0 out of pocket. Now, if we're talking about acquisitions, otherwise known as mergers and acquisitions, depending on how it's done, it's structured. But strictly when it really refers to acquisitions, it has to do with a person buying a business. And there's ways of buying a business, such as you taking out a loan. There's a whole study just on that. And of course, that's under the category of mergers and acquisitions. But yes, that would be a one way where you borrow the money to buy the business. Okay, it's a lesser known way, but it is a way for sure. There is a famous guy on YouTube. His name is Dan Peña. He specializes in that. So if that is something you're interested in, I recommend you go in depth with that. But these are just different ways. So we're gonna look at the big picture first, and then zero in on a particular way or tactic with that particular way. Also, you can be consulting for equity, as we've been talking about all along. That is how do you offer focused services. I'm going to put this on that previous line so that people can't help but see your transformative value. That's what we've been talking about as the goal. Okay, so we have basically you want to pick one of those 3. Probably not all 3 because these are different strategies. Okay. Now there's a script you can use. This is just an example. So you can use this script as an example. I am so excited to help you to solve X problem using whatever the name of the framework that you're going to use. So you're happy to solve the problem by using this solution. So the framework is the basic, the overall solution. So you continue by saying, I'm confident we will be able to reach X, Y, and Z objectives. So whatever the objective is, could be 1, 2, 3, or whatever it is, you want to be confident in your ability to do it. And then you continue by saying, once we're done doing that, we can address the other problem using name of framework or name of consultant or recommendation. Okay. So basically, you want to look at the framework. This is the solution. The person who's going to be doing the consultation or making the recommendation. And of course, that's going to be you. But just objectively, that's what it is. Our fourth problem to consider is my customers aren't waiting to invest my fees, as in your fee is the investment themselves. How do I show them that my fees are worth it? Well, you need to remember that you're realizing. You could say, I'm realizing that in order for you to get full value, this is what you could tell them. This is a script, example script you could tell them to your client. I'm realizing that in order for you to get full value, I need to spend a dedicated time focused on this. I would love to carve out a half day of time where we can sit down and really dig into how we can do X, Y, and oh, that should be at Z. Sorry, I put X, X, Y, and Z, so that you will stop feeling X and Y, whatever it is. Okay, so X and Y are the problems and the feelings, and Z will be the solution. So you need to set that up. Fifth problem, my customers want to delay payment or for me to offer a guarantee. Okay. Now, the way you deal with this is you want to know, how do I help them so that they need to invest in it. So there's a couple points to remember. Number one, you could say, I think it's absolutely appropriate for creating a vesting schedule where some or all of the fee is delayed for a certain period of time or until a certain milestone is reached. A better milestone would be payment upon completing the launch plan, or executing a pre-launch plan, or upon delivery of a certain number of hours of consulting. Okay, so you want to look at the pre-launch plan and delivery. Okay. Problem number 6. My clients keep asking me to do vendor or employee tasks. So what I'm suggesting to you is use the following script. I do want to help and I do value the client, but I also think that if their sales leaders have me doing the training and coaching, they miss out on the opportunity to do it themselves. I want them to get the most out of their investment. In other words, you're hiring these people to do a job, but if you're doing it for them, what is the point of having those employees? Now, that's not the consultant's job. The consultant's job is to give you the strategy and the ways in which to solve your particular business problem as to get the maximum value. Now, what you want to do is start by asking yourself a question: what's the highest contribution you can offer to the organization? Okay, highest contribution. That will tell you where your priorities are and where you should focus. Okay, and then the 7th problem is you're in the wrong deal with the wrong partner. So this is not exactly easy to deal with, but this is where you have to cut your losses, basically. So it's been about you could say it's been about 6 months, and I'm realizing that our values aren't aligned at all. This is for long-term relationship or equity. You say, I don't agree with most of the things that they do, and they don't agree with most of me either. How do I get out of this deal? So this is the problem. It's kind of a two-faceted problem here. Okay, so here's a solution. In order to avoid this, now this is just avoidance. You want to start with a half-day consult that gives me time to really dig in and see if there's somebody I look to partner with. The problem is you partnered with the wrong person, and that's why you're having a problem. Now, if that solution doesn't work, let's say you can't prevent it and you just somehow get into this situation, you want to be very frank with them and say, I respect you and I hope you succeed, but this isn't working. Okay? So you need to tell them it isn't working, but then at the same time, you need to do the ethically right things. First of all, these are the final points for you to remember for what you need to do for your client. If you do walk away, take the hit, meaning return the equity that you have in the company, any other fee. So if you walk away from the equity deal, give the equity back to them, like I said. If you walk away from an equity, you'll give the oops. Sorry, I didn't mean to put that twice. Sorry. And then let's do this. Sorry. Put myself up there because I meant to do this. Oh, sorry. Let's get this up here. I meant to put this here. So first of all, you need to give back your equity. You need to be frank with them. It's not working out. So you need to take the hit. How do you do that? Well, with that, that is, if you have to walk away from equity, you'll give the equity back to them. That would be step one. Step two, and or whatever money you lose will be made up from the future deals with companies you align with. So you'll take a hit. In other words, you'll have to refund any money that's already been paid that you can't provide, if they can't going forward provide the solution for. And also, if you walk away on the equity deal, you need to give the equity back to them. But the good part is, whatever money you lose will be made up from future deals with companies who you align with and who know you can trust you. Okay, so actually, I'm going to put something different here. So taking the hit is refunding any consulting money that you haven't performed on. Let me just get that there. And the good news is that once you have got the right person to work with, you more than make up for it. Okay. Simply because that you'll have a longer term relationship, which means you will be, you will come out, you will actually come out uh, in the better of it. So that's what it is. Okay, I'm only going to put the star on the back. This is sort of like a light at the end of the tunnel. Okay. So your point is you want to do deals with the right people who align with what you're doing, and also who can trust you. And I've personally made that point too, that I never want to work for a company, for a boss at a company who doesn't have confidence in me. And also, I don't want to do business with somebody who doesn't have trust me and or have confidence in me too. So this is also important. So they have trust in you, know they can trust you, etc. Okay. Now, that will conclude this particular lesson. Now remember, this was talking about overcoming common objections and obstacles as it relates to sales and how you handle the situation. So I'd like to take this time to thank you for watching this video, as you could be watching any other business or marketing video while you're watching mine, so I greatly appreciate that. As this did provide value to you, what I'd like you to do is please click like on the video, and that way it'll be pushing the algorithm and more people will be able to view it and enjoy it. If you haven't already, please click the subscribe button. That way you'll have access to all the content on my channel, as I do have a variety of content on this channel, namely in terms of different subjects. And also, if you haven't already, please click the bell button. That way you'll be notified of all my future videos. That way, when new videos come out, you'll be notified accordingly and you won't miss any videos. So, I'd like to wish you, actually, I'm going to save this first. I'd like to wish you a great day wherever you are in the world. Take care, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.